So for the past couple of weeks, we've been researching on the Aztecs, and we're going to tell you what we've learned from it. I'm Alex.
Kirsten.
I'm Luke.
For their economy, they grew maize, which was the most important crop in the Aztec civilization, and it could be stored for long periods of time, and it could be made into different kinds of foods also. And then that picture is what maize looks like. Their writing was Nahuatl, and it resembles Mixtec, and it's a mix between Mayan and Zapotec, and then they use dots for their numbers that are under 20, and then Nahuatl is spoken by 1.5 million people in Mexico, and it appears in inscriptions.
So their government was just like the European government, but different. It was different because it was more of a single unitary type of government. Their laws were like shown through pictures, and the judges were the ones who enforced the law. Example of an Aztec empire was he followed his father's footsteps. Like, he was not just a ruler of the Aztec, he was in front of the army. He governed the army. He was the one that was thrown in the jail before the Aztecs crumbled through Cortez. And I got a video to show you how they fell. I have a version of it.
Dogs are hunters by nature. And now there's convenient nutrition inspired by their ancestral diet. Introducing Instinct Raw Boost, the only grain-free, high-protein kibble boosted with freeze-dried raw bites. Discover what raw can do.
When Spanish ships landed in Mexico in 1519, the mighty Aztec Empire was at the height of its power. From their capital at Tenochtitlan, the Aztecs controlled much of what is now Mexico and Central America, ruling some 15 million people. Aztec palaces were as vast and sophisticated as any of those in Europe, and their temples rivaled the Egyptian pyramids. But within just 2 years, the mighty Aztec Empire crumbled, and Tenochtitlan lay in ruins after a brutal siege led by Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés.
So that video basically tells you who knocked down the Aztecs and when how the Aztec ruler.
Alright, the climate for the Aztecs ranged from tropical to desert-like. Along the coast of both sides of the country, it was hot and humid. They kept the city clean by having canals full of fresh water from the mountain ranges. The inland communities that were at higher elevations were much drier than those at lower. And snow hits around Thanksgiving time and falls throughout the whole winter.
To the Aztecs, religion was very important to them. Their gods were mainly based off their agriculture. For example, the corn god was based off their corn. They also, for ancestor heroes, they had them as gods. And they worship gods by building temples, sacrificing, and art.
The geography for the Aztecs, they lived in a valley that was 7,000 feet above the sea level. All of the valley except the northern side was covered by mountains for protection. And the Aztecs' water supply came from the mountains. All of the lakes around the area were all connected together, and the crops would easily die from the climate in the winter.
Okay, so I have a couple. They enjoyed pottery, sculpting, drawing, and poetry. The men, they wore cloaks, which are, they're basically like blankets, but they tied it at one knot on their shoulder. And then the women, they wore wraparound skirts, and if they were married, they had to have their hair tied at the top of their head in a corner. sacrifice the humans, they also sacrificed objects to make the gods happy. And then they made tacos, chili peppers, maize, beans, squash, turkey, dogs, stuff like that they ate for food. And the documentary is just basically going to be about an event that happened in the Aztec civilization. And then their inventions were chocolate, popcorn, chewing gum, anti-spastic medication, which is it prevents muscle spasms, and then they also made universal education. And now we're gonna play a game. We need how many volunteers? 3. Aaron, Sam, and
We're gonna have you first throw it by hands. You name that represents.
just into the ball.
Yeah. You get hard.
Oh, what?
Come back.
Okay, now what I do?
And then we're gonna have Sam try to make it without his hands.
Without my hands.
Yeah.
More feet.
Can
Or
I use like throw it up?
You gotta go like this.
I mean, you just can't use your hands and throw it in the hoop.
You must use his hand.
So Aaron's got the harder part, just making it with her hips. This is what the Aztecs would do with their ball game they have.
What in the world?
My hips? How am I supposed to do this again?
Throw it and use it.
Oh, I should have got this one.
Yeah, you should have gotten this one.
Throw it and use your hips.
She's like,
I don't have any hips.
try, just try.
Okay.
Keep going.
Kind of like.
Okay, I guess, maybe.
Good try. Keep going. One more. Go ahead.
I guess.
Just gonna make it is.
Go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
You
make
can
it.
go closer. Go closer. Yeah, go right there.
Got hard.
Go. I can try this? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you.
Can I go? Alright, you got one more. You
I
got
know.
You're like an inch away from it.
Go.
Arms away, Sam.
Okay.
You have fun with that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
My hips don't lie, I'm starting to feel it. So basic, so basic.
Then I'm not gonna say I'm so basic.
I tried.
Okay, so this is how they basically play.
basic of how the game would go.
The ball represented the head of a sacrificed victim, and the floors represented the stairs that they were sacrificed upon. And then they worked as a team, and then this game was actually a way of an excuse to like assassinate somebody. So, and then if one of the losers congratulated one of the kings, the king would be assassinated.
Wait, what?
So that concludes what we've learned about the Aztecs.